we've got about 30 seconds here.
Live on location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Along with Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer, I'm Todd Allbaugh. We are live on location here in the town of Dunn in beautiful Dane County. That's just outside of Oregon, which is just south of Madison, Wisconsin. And we are at beautiful Kopke's greenhouse here on, it might be a little drizzly, a little gray on the outside, but wow. If you're not on our stream today, you want to get there, either on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, whatever your streaming preferences are. We have the cameras set up, and behind me right here, we are inside of one of the beautiful greenhouses here, lots of red, white, and blue. We are going to be talking to Gordy Kopke, the owner and proprietor, the founder here of Kopke's Greenhouse, a little bit later this hour. Find out about this great local business. Kopke's are one of our great sponsors here at Civic Media, so always great to highlight them. But we'd be here anyway, quite frankly, because it's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. And more important, well, as importantly, we'll say it that way, coming up this Sunday, their annual event, and this is a great event, Sunday, May 25th. It's going to be all afternoon long, but at 3 p.m., a special auction. And they're going to have all kinds of beautiful planters out here for you to bid on. All the proceeds from the planters, as well as the concessions, the brats, the sodas, all that sort of thing, all those monies will go to Wisconsin Badger Honor Flight to bring our veterans from the Madison area, the Wisconsin area, out to Washington, D.C. and honor them for their service. So just a really great cause, especially on this Memorial Day weekend. And going to be talking to Gordy Kopke a little bit later this hour. And we'll talk some plants as well. Do you have a green thumb? Do you want to have a green thumb? We'll answer some of your plant questions a little bit later on in this show as well. But right now, on a hump day, by the way, it is. Thank you. I forgot about the camel. I got so excited about the flowers on this Wednesday. The 20th of May. I forgot about the camel, but you can never forget about our Wednesday guests, if I could talk. Joining us live from beautiful Lake Wissota in just the Chippewa Valley area there of Wisconsin, Mr. Pat Kreitlow, host of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow, now from 6 until 9 across the Civic Media Radio Network. And from our nation's capital outside of Washington, D.C., Mr. Trygve Olsen, a former Republican like myself, and now the senior advisor at the Lincoln Project. Gentlemen, how the heck are you?
Well, we're the heck in hoodies. Him in his Badger hoodie, mine in my Western Michigan Broncos hoodie. You are bundled up like Nanuka the North over there in the greenhouse.
It's pretty warm in here.
Well, okay.
Relatively speaking. I got my jacket on, my Civic Media hat. Yeah.
So we're a little cold. We're kind of waiting for spring to come on back, but
I know, right?
It could be worse.
It could be worse. Trygve, how is the weather out in D.C.?
I haven't been outside today because it's rainy.
Oh, okay, it's rainy.
Well, there you go. All right.
Trygve doesn't get out much. He stays at it.
And my 13-year-old wanted to ride to school, and Dad was like, no.
Wow.
Patrick, you have your Western Michigan. I don't think we took time because, you're a busy guy. You're traveling all over the world. But your son-in-law is a national champion, right?
Yes, works for the Western Michigan hockey team, and the Broncos are your Division I NCAA men's hockey champions. So it was fun to watch them all throughout. And then after the championship game, this hoodie that I'd worn for many games throughout the season, I put up on the top shelf of the closet, figuring I wouldn't need it until next season. And then there was a wind chill, the likes of which we haven't experienced in a while here in Chippewa. When I was gassing up the car and getting groceries yesterday with the sideways rain pelting you and that stiff wind out of the east. And yeah, we're back in hoodie weather for a little while here.
Yeah, it's a little chilly. Well, we're actually going to be up in Chippewa Valley with the show tomorrow in the greater Eau Claire area.
No.
And we'll see. Is
that still the plan?
Well, that's still the plan. We thought about doing the show from Pat's pontoon boat on Friday,
or
but I don't
ice
know,
shack.
Pat.
It's the lake might be frozen over by then. I don't know. It would be really if you're still thinking about coming up. We've got a lovely patio here with Lake Wissota in the background.
All right.
And
I'll be there.
Consider being there.
I'll be in the air. I'm coming up for my youngest niece's Isabel's high school graduation from Eau Claire Memorial on Thursday night, and the party's on Saturday. So
very nice. And
it's always great to be in the Chippewa Valley.
Shishu's comment on YouTube is perfect. It's your fault, Pat. You put the hoodie away too soon. Yes, I will take full responsibility between that and running away to Portugal last week. I just invited all the bad weather to come back this week. My bad.
How was the trip, Pat?
It was amazing. Portugal was not on my list. Going to Europe in general, yes, but I hadn't looked at individual countries. Had a dear friend getting married there, and they asked me to perform the ceremony.
Wow.
And so I was doing that, and Sherry and I got there a week ahead of time so we could see much more of the country. And two things worth noting that I think might be of interest to Trigvi as well. One is that their national elections were held last weekend too, as we were there.
Interesting.
And it really says something about we're not crazy about the two-party system here. That's a little too limited. But they've got 10 parties to work with, and they're having a heck of a time. That was their third national election in 4 years, trying to get a consensus government. So that was the one point about Portugal. But the other thing they'll be quick to tell you is they've only been at this democracy thing for 50 years. Because it was 51 years ago that Portugal was on the verge of civil war after 50 years of basically a dictatorship. And so they are still enjoying the freshness of democracy. There's a little voter fatigue with these 3 elections lately, but unlike a lot of folks on, say, in the MAGA tent, these folks in Portugal remember what it's like when you let despots in power and you let authoritarians run ragged across your country. Their economy is booming now because of democracy and freedom, and we would do well to not want to repeat what other countries have had to go through.
Very, very interesting indeed. Guys, I don't like to get too much into deep partisan politics when we're on location at a business, but I did want to touch on this since I have both you guys here. It's a little insider baseballish, but you guys are the perfect people to talk about it. Trigvi, the Republican Party of Wisconsin, had their state convention this past weekend in Rothschild. Brian Schimming survived. There was kind of an attempt at a vote to start taking him out, and that got voted down. So Brian Arthur Schimming still remains the chairman of the Wisconsin Republican Party. And then coming up next month will be the Democratic Party of Wisconsin's convention. And it appeared to be that Joseph Pecky was kind of the inside track to win and take over for Ben Wickler, who's not going to run again for the chair of the Democratic Party. But now Wickler comes out yesterday and announces that he's going to endorse, after saying he wouldn't, his deputy. And Pat, you had that guy on the show today. Trigvi, then Pat, what do you make of these? If anything, is this important to the average Wisconsinite? These kind of inside party fighting.
No, I don't think it matters much at all to the average Wisconsinite. They're not paying a lot of attention to it. It matters a lot for the blocking and tackling in elections in Wisconsin, who wins the various races. I guess I'll leave the Democrats to Pat, but does it surprise me that Schimming prevailed and that it was less noisy? No, not really, because truth of the matter is, sometimes what you discover with sort of that MAGA wing, lots of noise, but not a lot of behind it.
What do you make Ron Johnson, Senator Ron Johnson, Republican of Wisconsin, seems to be at odds once again with Republican Derek Van Orton in the 3rd District. Van Orton all on the Trump train, saying you have to pass what Trump calls the big, beautiful bill, i.e. the big, expensive budget bill. And Ron Johnson saying, no, we have to cut even further. Is that just more noise?
No, I mean, I just think it gets to the truth of the matter is the Republican Party, and it's been true for a while, is a sort of a messed up coalition of people that don't really want to be in coalition with each other. It's a marriage of convenience mostly, because a lot of them care about one thing, power. I think the bigger thing with Van Orton is, did you see this thing where he's sometimes he's not the most adept at media relations. He got asked a question about elections and losing, and he said, well, maybe we don't need spring elections anymore in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we played that actually, yeah. And Shimmy laughed at him. Because the reporter went up to him afterwards, Shimmy, and said, "Do you agree with Congressman Van?" And he cut the reporter off and says, "I always agree with Congressman Van Orton." What do you say?
Do you want to
He
hear
wants
it?
to get rid of spring elections. I mostly agree with Congressman Van Orton.
I agree with what Derek Van Orton said.
He just said he wants to get rid of spring elections here in Wisconsin.
I agree with almost everything that Derek Van Orton said.
Wow.
Wow.
So when you're state chairman,
When the state chair is metaphorically lighting you on fire in front of the media, maybe that's a sign that was a mistake to do. Over on the
Van Odd man, he's something else.
Yep. Over on the Democratic side, yes, we had Devin Remiker on today. Very happy to tout his endorsement from Ben Wickler. Joe Zepecki had some strong things to say about that on social media, and I'm sure that he will say those things again tomorrow when he's on our program during the 8 a.m. hour. And then we will have the third candidate in the race, William Garcia, on in the 8 a.m. hour on Friday. So all three candidates today, tomorrow, and Friday. Folks can go over to our show page over at civicmedia.us and listen to them all.
Yeah, sounds great. Is it good for the Democratic Party, Pat? I mean, Trigby and I come from the other side. I mean, you were a former Democratic state legislator. Is this a good thing for the party to have these kind of discussions, if not fights, on leadership?
I think this one is, it's going to be a net positive. I think that you've got people who, Ben Wickler's giving you big shoes to fill. And they're looking at all three of these candidates and seeing who's most capable of doing that. And all three of these candidates are trying to not get boxed in by or get pigeonholed that Joe Zepecki is the Milwaukee candidate or the outside the party candidate, that Devin Remiker is the inside the party candidate, and that William Garcia is the outstate candidate, when all three of them have, talents that would serve the party well. There's not any one of those three that I would be unhappy with. Like Trigby, I'd say this does not matter to the average voter, but the people who work really hard inside the party, especially at the county party level, there's going to be a lot said about whether this motivates them. Ben Wickler was a motivator. Martha Lanning was not as friendly to county parties as she was to, say, kind of these ad hoc local organizations. And so every chair brings something different into it in terms of whether they have the motivation, the organization, the messaging, and the ability to bring in money. And I think it's just going to be a nice, honest debate, and then Democrats will quickly come together and move on.
Trigby, from a D.C. perspective, you've worked obviously on the Republican side, but I know you've kind of reached across the aisle with your work in the Lincoln Project to some degree. The lobbying class, the money class out in D.C., do they keep track of this kind of stuff at the state level, or does it really matter when it comes to statewide elections?
No, maybe the consultant class more than anybody, right?
Yeah.
But I think not huge. The one thing I would say, though, is there is more attention paid to Wisconsin because it's Wisconsin, and sort of it is, Michigan and Pennsylvania and Arizona get a little bit more attention for that stuff.
Well, we're going to pay attention to things here in Kopke's Greenhouse. We are live on location in Oregon, Wisconsin. Going to come back and ask Pat and Trigby their memories of Memorial Day on the old campaign circuit and what it means to have these veterans memorials. We'll talk about that more on the other side. We're live on location at Kopke's on the Civic Media Radio Network.
92.7 WMDS.
Perfecto.
Buying a home is kind of like eating pistachios. Some are easy to open. Some
Kids these
take a
days
little
always
work.
playing on their
Every once
phones.
in a while, you get a tough one that makes
I
you
forgot to
question
turn mine
your
off
life
there.
choices. That's where we come in.
Not off, but I
Aaron
mean
Weber
down.
Group, we crack open the market and find you the perfect home. Whether you're looking for a cozy starter home or a mansion with a snack pantry.
I gave
big
Trigby
enough
such
for
an
a
opening over there, and he didn't
lifetime
want to take it.
supply
Going,
of
I
pistachios.
almost helped overthrow the government in Portugal once upon a time.
I did. Yeah, I wasn't going to go there.
Okay.
You know, Portugal is one of the countries that I've always wanted to go to that I haven't been to. Might be it and Monte Carlo are probably the only two countries in Europe I haven't been to.
Wow.
I've got one on you. I've been to Monte Carlo.
We've talked
Holy
many times about going to Portugal.
Yeah,
I heard it's beautiful. Did you like it? Were you in Lisbon?
Gorgeous. I fell in love. Lisbon's really nice classic big European city. But Porto to the north,
Yeah.
and then the Douro Valley east of that in northern Portugal, where they grow all the grapes that they use to make port wine. That area is just spectacular.
Wow.
Yeah.
Quick note before it
your
potentially
pictures were
deletes
great
it.
on Facebook.
Tony on YouTube accidentally had a typo and then reposted this without a typo. So what's worse, no attention spams anymore or no attention junk mails anymore? No, but he said no attention spams anymore.
Attention spasms.
That was
would be bad.
yesterday's what's worse. A joke about that.
Sales at WMDXradio.com.
It's your girl, Brandy Grayson, the hostess with the mostest of the Black Conversion Show. And I'm inviting you to the Black Brilliance Gala, hosted by Urban Triage on Saturday, May 31st at the Overture Center for the Arts. Join us for an elegant night celebrating
That
unsung
gaming
You know what I
shit.
think is the worst is
For
all
ticket
these. Are you
information
guys on
and to learn about
WhatsApp?
sponsorship
Yes.
Do you get all these like
I've been getting a
groups
lot of
where-
those, yeah.
Yes.
And
Not
all
so
the
much in- I haven't in a
spams
while.
like
Yeah.
the best is when you have an unpaid toll fee,
Yeah.
and the
20
number that
seconds.
it comes from is like +63,
Yes.
and you're like, how
All right,
dumb
got one.
would you
10
have to
seconds.
be
There
to
we go.
There we go.
click on that?
Portugal. Huh?
Sugar magnolia, blossoms blooming, that's all empty and I don't care. So my baby down by the river, knew she'd have to come up soon for air.
Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show, live on location on the Civic Media Radio Network. We are at Kopke's Greenhouse in the town of Dunn, just outside the city of Oregon, in beautiful Dane County. A little drizzly outside, but as Gordy, the proprietor here at Kopke's, likes to say, when it's raining outside, that's when you want to come in and buy your plants, and then you plant them when it's nice out. Gordy's going to be joining us here after the bottom of the hour break, talking about Kopke's and also talking about this great event coming up this weekend on Sunday, May 25th. The actual auction will be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but the event happens all day long. It's live music. It's great concessions, brats, hot dogs, that sort of thing, great sodas. And then they have this big plant auction. They have planters that they auction off. And some of their, right now they're here in the greenhouse. Normally these things will go for anywhere around 70 to 80 bucks a pot. And then they auction them off. You usually go well over $100. Some of them maybe not quite that much. But the key is all the proceeds from those planters at this auction, as well as all the concession proceeds, go to the Badger Honor Flight here in Wisconsin, which helps get our veterans from Wisconsin out to Washington, D.C. to honor them. Pat, as a former state legislator, I know part of the duties are going around giving speeches, particularly around Memorial Day, dedicating veterans monuments. And Trigby, you went around, of course, with John McCain, one of our great veterans of all time. You worked for him, not just here, but around the world. I'd like to ask each of you what this weekend, remembering the fallen, and Pat, particularly as you represented areas, what this weekend means to your remembrances of it.
It reminds me from my time there that I wish more people had reason to, or would make reason to, take part in some of these ceremonies. A lot of these smaller communities, they just do either a short parade or a short memorial service, in a local town park or something like that. And to, again, hear the stories of sacrifice, to remember that these were actual names, actual people in your hometown. They're not just words on a marker as you drive past the courthouse every so often. Mm-hmm. And I know, being the son of a soldier who served during the Cold War on the border between East Germany and West Germany back in the 1960s, he knew so many people who were serving in Vietnam instead, and who, again, paid that ultimate price in service to their country that just simply must never be forgotten. And another way that you avoid that is also not damaging the military, not hurting our veterans, say for veterans health care. And I know people are going, oh, here, Pat's going to politicize this. Look, if you're going to honor veterans, don't just make it a simple gesture on Memorial Day for the fallen. It's something, show that honor all year long. And I'm seeing a real reduction in that honor lately, to put it mildly.
Yeah. Trigby?
I guess I think about a few things. And when it comes to Memorial Day, one is, as a kid growing up, and occasionally when I'm back, the parade and then the ceremony that they have at the cemetery in River Falls is just fantastic. And it's always the sort of passing of the baton for the high school band, because you've got the kids who are graduating, and I think about back when I was a senior, and I wish I would have understood it better. There was a guy, Adi Halverson, who I think I've mentioned before on the show. I ushered with him at church. What I didn't understand about Adi is he was a survivor of the Bataan Death March, and I didn't really get what that meant. I knew that others kind of had respect for him that was unique. He never talked about it. He was the kind of guy that made the city of River Falls run. And there's an element of that to some degree that I think we've lost. That generation had, because they were so shaped by their experiences at such a young age.
Coincidentally, we had Dan Hagan on from WJFW TV yesterday, and he got very somber in noting that he had a relative who also died in the Bataan Death March. That again brings to life the sacrifices that we should never forget.
Totally agree. I hope people will take time this Memorial Day weekend to remember the sacrifices, the freedoms that we all enjoy, were paid for with real lives and real blood. You guys, obviously, Triggy, you live in D.C. I know, Pat, you've been there several times. Agree, probably one of the most powerful parts of D.C. is a visit to Arlington National Cemetery.
Yeah, we typically go there on Memorial Day because there's a whole set of veterans that go and ride Harleys along the street, and the Iwo Jima Memorial is a great place to go and watch those guys go by, and as they drive around, and it's always kind of an exciting time, because they're starting on Friday, they're going to start rolling in. And it's kind of got the Wisconsin tradition, because it's a lot of guys on Harleys, of course, but
Pat?
yeah.
I would just underscore that I hope that people take this opportunity as well to not only focus on the sacrifice, that is the main reason for the holiday, but the service of it as well, that these are people who served their country, and that, as I know one of the listeners was saying on YouTube here right now, let's not just have, a bunch of empty gestures. Let's actually instill the values of service to the next generation. I do see that. I'm not one of those that's going to say, oh, the whole younger generation, they have no idea. There are, but you could never do it enough to remind people of the value of service. I typically talk about it. I get it from an electoral standpoint, but whether it's in the military or health or teaching or in some other ways, we really need to get this notion of service back, rather than being selfish and I'm going to get mine and I'm going to get power or whatever the case may be. Let's serve our fellow man and woman.
Pat Kreitley, you can hear him every morning from 6 until 9 across Civic Media on Mornings with Pat Kreitlow, and Trygve Olsen, of course, joins us every Wednesday to talk politics. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week after the holiday.
I'll see you on Friday on Lake Wissota.
That's right. A frozen tundra of Lake Wissota.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Come on back. Talk to Gordy Kopke. We're here live on location at Kopke's Greenhouse, where we have this big auction for our veterans coming up on Memorial Day weekend here at Kopke's Greenhouse. You're listening to the Todd Allbaugh Show across Wisconsin on the Civic Media. Rated Network.
What happened to? I thought Trigby was going to come be on the pontoon too.
I was going to, but then it just kind of fell apart. It's Memorial Day weekend, so it kind of complicates things.
All right. Well,
I will definitely sometime this summer. I definitely want to come. We'll swing through, and it'll be fun.
We'll figure.
I just have to get that figured out.
All right. All right, Mr. Allbaugh, keep me updated.
Right.
I'll see you up here.
Thanks. Yep. I'll send you a text either
Have
tonight
fun,
or
guys.
tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Aaron. See you.
Bye bye.
Todd, do you want me staying on or maybe not? Since
It's up to you. I mean, we're just going to talk about the greenhouse and this event coming up on Sunday. So I mean, if you want to, you can.
I think I'll let you do that without
Yeah,
me.
that's fine. All right. That's
Okay,
cool.
perfect.
I
All right, I'll
should've
talk to
given
you on
the
the other
heads up.
side.
Sorry. All
Give me
right.
a call after you're done. All right,
I sent
bye.
you that Van Orden clip. I told you you should send it to Rick Wilson and have him make a commercial out of it. You know.
Yeah.
They're laughing at you, Derek, behind your
got
back.
it. Got it. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right,
See ya.
thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Premium products. If we look at just the top 5 ingredients, of course, the number 1 ingredient is poultry and poultry-related products. But something that's doubled in its volume of use since the last report is marine-based products. It's things like salmon and cod, right, that we would have in our diet. And we're seeing those come into the pet food space. But it's also beet pulp and carrots and peas and cranberries and flaxseed, right? And so there's this large number of ingredients that are also starting to show up more and more in pet foods.
Laura Moody is the executive director of the Institute for Feed Education and Research, talking about pet food ingredients. She says about 50% of pet food ingredients come from upcycled materials, but that's also the same place that Production Agriculture looks for their feedstuffs for animals like beef, dairy, and hogs.
Attention farmers and ranchers. The Can-Am Ag and Business Program wants to reward hardworking folks like you. Head to your local Can-Am dealer to find out how you can get extra coverage on top of the current offers on select Can-Am Defender and Outlander models. If you've had your eye on a new Can-Am ATV or side-by-side, now's the time to get yours.
Cool.
Visit your local
Turn your mic
Can-Am
on.
dealer today.
All right. How's the volume? Is it too loud for you?
A little loud,
All right, I'll turn it down. Test 1, 2. How's that? Test. A little further.
How's that?
It's all fine for me. How is it for you?
Yeah, this works for me.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Hang on 1 second.
With science-based, research-proven Xylosol brand products from Novonesis. Not only are you supporting improved herd health and performance, but you know you're getting the maximum return on your feed investment. Talk to your local dealer about what sets Xylosol inoculants apart. Purchase your silage inoculant today.
And the Wisconsin Department of Natural
Alrighty. We'll see how I come just a little bit this way. There we go. Look at that. See, look at that. We got Hopkins above us right there. I got the whole deal.
Yeah, it's a chainsaw carving from a friend of Montana.
Really?
Montana did that.
Oh my gosh, that's
And I
fantastic.
used to have a bunch of peacocks on my farm at that point.
Oh,
in my
really?
lifetime. Yeah.
I love it.
Damp and dreary today with high temperatures still cool, only scraping about 50.
Everything sound okay, Aaron?
Today, but scattered showers
Yep.
still continue.
All right, sounds good.
Wind down overnight, then the sun
Got about a minute and 20 seconds until we
All
are
right,
back on air.
cool. Sounds good.
Currently, it's 48.
I really appreciate you doing this. This is great.
Yeah. We'll have to make it an annual thing.
Yeah, I love it.
It's important, and it could save your life. A lung cancer screen. You know, I lost my mom to lung cancer when she was just 68 years old. Screenings helped.
See, we got the big red, white, and blue push on this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, they got the flowers in the back. That's
Yeah.
great for Memorial Day, so that's cool.
Go-to for lung cancer is your go-to. Visit
Very cool indeed.
The John and Gordy Show. Catherine, what is she's obsessed with a man in uniform.
Do you get to drive the truck sometimes? What? Hi, come on there. What?
All right, just over 30 seconds.
All right, thank you.
It's a one-man show here. It's amazing.
I'm self-sufficient.
All right.
Sunflower, my eyes want you more than a melody. Let me inside, wish I could get to know you.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network, where it is now 35 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock on this Wednesday, the 20th of May, or 21st, pardon me, 21st of May, here, and we are live on location at Kopke's Greenhouse in the town of Dunn. That's just outside of the city of Oregon, which is just south of Madison. So there you go. There's your directions. Easy to get to. In fact, I was almost out of gas, and so I went to Oregon first. It's like less than a 5-minute drive from Oregon out to Kopke's, and we are here live on location. If you're watching on the stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, I hope that you are, because it's beautiful. We're inside, even though it's a little rainy outside today. We are inside here in one of their greenhouses. All kinds of beautiful baskets and planters behind us here, kind of a red, white, and blue theme. And we are joined here at our makeup, our desk here on location at Kopke's by the founder and owner himself, Mr. Gordy Kopke. Gordy, how the heck are you?
Fantastic, Todd.
Well, I can't thank you enough for allowing us to come out here today. Number one, because I just love coming out here. It's a beautiful place to learn about plants. But number two, once again, to talk about this great event that you're having this weekend to raise money for the Badger Honor Flight.
Well, it's an honor for us to have you out here as well. And we have been doing this for a number of years and building up quite a clientele that come out just specifically for this auction, and because all the money goes for a good cause.
Yeah, it really does. Before we get into that, I think it's a good time. You were so kind as to have us out here last year. But just for folks that might not have joined us last year, tell us a little bit about Kopke's. How long have you been here, and how did this all come to pass?
Well, I was in alternative energy back in the late 70s, and then Ronald Reagan got in and did away with the tax credits that helped fund it, and he tore the solar collectors off the White House, and I was sort of unemployed at the time, and I had grown up farming just a mile down the road, and my best friend and I started a windmill business back in the late 70s, and selling wind power generators and solar water heaters, and that went out of business, and so I was trying to figure out what the heck to do with my life that could be doing something noble with my time. And I built my first greenhouse in 1981 to start transplants for growing vegetables to sell at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
And things went very well. We kept building a couple more greenhouses, and then my mother, who was a very avid flower gardener, convinced me to grow some flowers in the greenhouse. Well, I could grow stuff, but I didn't know mums and marigolds, but I could grow stuff. So I started growing flowers and taking them to the market. And then over the course of time, it just occurred to me that there was quite a significant demand for flowers, and you could grow them on benches. You didn't have to bend over and pick them up off the ground like tomatoes and peppers.
Right.
And so we opened for the retail in 1984 to sell a few plants out of one little hoop house down here. I didn't have much of imagination. I could never have imagined that we were going to be the largest grower to retail operation in the state of Wisconsin.
Just incredible.
Yes, it is.
Wow. What and how many? How many hoop houses do you have now?
We have 34 greenhouses altogether.
Wow.
We about 3.5 acres undercover, and then we have about a half-acre production outside as well.
Well, I think that's an important thing, especially for a day like today, for our listeners to know in the Madison area. But really, we go all across the state. And if you ever want to take a drive, say on a weekend, and say, I want to go just have a great day, make a day of it, I really would encourage you to come to Kopke's, because like on a day like today, you have so much that's undercover. You can come here and shop and never get wet.
Yes, exactly. At one time we had tour buses that used to come in from Green Bay, Galena, Illinois, and we still have a good customer clientele that comes up from Chicago that shops here as well.
And if people don't want to come here to the greenhouse in the town of Dunn, you're on the farmers market on the square every Saturday morning as well.
We are at the farmers market, although it's, we get 16 feet of space. So
Right. It's a
we only
smaller
take
version.
a select item, but we also rent a parking lot in Stoughton, and we do about 10 to 12% of our business is
Really?
sold right out of our little Stoughton store.
Wow.
It's quite an ordeal.
Was it busy for Sit and Demai last week?
It was.
Yeah.
Up through Sunday, the parking lot gets pretty congested during the parade time. So we before the parade and after the parade, we do okay. Yeah.
We're here at Kopke's Greenhouse in the town of Dunn talking to Gordy Kopke. Before we get into the honor flight, Gordy, a little bit more about the business. I know that you kind of slowly transitioned, already handing the business over to the next generation. This is a family-owned business. It's an independent business, which for me is really, really important as we travel the entire state. I love talking to family-owned businesses. I get it, the big box stuff is fine to a degree, but I really like it when there's a family-owned local business who's invested in the community.
Yes, thank you. I've set up my retirement scenario in such a manner that I have another generation that's hopefully going to take over, and I'm gifting my stock in the corporation to 6 of the employees.
Wow.
One of which is my stepson, and they are collectively going to take this over and hopefully keep my name going long after I'm out of here.
Yeah, well, Josh has been incredible. We talked to him setting this up as well. And I know one of the other things, I think you called in one day to the show. You're a listener. We appreciate, not only are you a sponsor, but you're a listener. We always appreciate that, Gordy. Not only are you noted for your plants, but I think it's important to you, maybe, your service out here.
Well, thank you. We have been voted Best Garden Center for 4 years for the People's Choice Award, and I think the last 2 or 3 consecutive years as the best customer service, which includes not just greenhouses, but all of the businesses in this local area. And we spend a lot of resources hiring people who love to to share their knowledge with other people, and it's paid off for us.
Yeah. I know when I've come out here and shopped before, I was out here a couple weeks ago and got some plants for Mom up in Richland Center, and you can't go more than 20, 25 feet. And people aren't intrusive, but are you doing okay? Do you need anything? Are you finding everything okay? And if you need, and what's great about it is they're not just nice folks who will help you carry stuff out to your car. They're knowledgeable. You can ask them a plant question. Hey, is this going to grow in the sun? Is this an annual or a perennial? There's real plant knowledge here to help, whether it's the most experienced gardener or whether it's a novice.
Yes, we try to hire people who have a passion for gardening and like to share that knowledge with them. And so we have it sort of set up with some annual people answering annual questions. We have a perennial staff that will answer your perennial questions. And then we generally have a person in the vegetable house that will answer questions pertaining to the vegetable garden as well.
So there are no stupid questions here at Kopke's Greenhouse. Everybody's welcome, and you'll get a good answer.
Well, I've heard a stupid question once in a while, but I try not to let on that. Really?
You're nice about it.
Yeah.
Midwest nice. Well, the big question, our owner CEO Sage Weil, looking for raspberry bushes. Before we went on the air, I already talked to your staff. I found some, so I'm going to take Sage some raspberries here at the end of the show. So he's very excited about that. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing vegetables, as Gordy said, plants or garden or flowering plants, annuals, or perennials. And what I really like, and I got some of these from Mom last year, are the native species of wildflowers here. That's a really cool aspect. If people want to kind of plant, there's a big push on controversy over no mow May, but I think a lot of experts say rather than don't mow your yard, just plant native species, and that's better for the pollinators.
Exactly. And there's been a big movement in the last several years to move to more natives, and so we try to cater to that demand as well. So we have a section that can help those folks out as well.
All right, sounds good. Talking to Gordy Kopke here at Kopke's Greenhouse in the town of Dunn. Gordy, this event coming up this weekend, I think it's one of the coolest things around. It's a big auction. It's a big day. Lots of fun, but there's also a very serious aspect of it, of honoring those who have served before, raising money for the honor flights. Tell folks about it.
Yeah, we started, a number of years ago. I was up at the EAA when the plane load of the vets came back through there. And I was almost brought to tears to see these veterans coming back and how well they were treated by the people who were welcoming them back home. And so I did a little more investigation into it and found out that they have a chapter here in southern Wisconsin. And so we started the first couple of years, we'd just do a silent auction where you come up, put your number and outbid the next person.
Sure.
And one of my good customers, Bob Johnson from down by Milton, is an auctioneer. And he saw what we were doing. He said, "Oh, come on, I can raise more money than what you're doing." He says, "I'll donate my time and we're going to do this thing live." And I said, "Okay, Bob, let's go for it." And since then, he's an amazing character. He brings out the most out of people. And last year we were able to raise $16,000 just in plant sales.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's 16 grand in plants alone.
And then we did another $4,000 on our brat stand. And that's basically, it runs Saturday, Sunday, Monday, where people come up and just put a few bucks in, whatever they want to. And it goes for a great cause.
Well, I think it's so cool because for those that might not know, and I know our friend and colleague Jane Matnair on Matnair and Air every morning from 9 until 11, she's had people on. I believe there's another chapter in Milwaukee that does flights as well out of General Mitchell Field. This is the Badger Honor Flight out of Madison. They go out of the Dane County Airport. And if you haven't heard of it, this is where the money is raised, like Gordy at Kopke's here is doing this weekend. And then they take veterans. I think it started with World War II veterans, if I'm not mistaken, but now it goes all the way through people who have served in the, I think, Afghan or Iraqi war, Vietnam, certainly, and they take them out to D.C., take them to the respective memorials just to say thank you. And when people come back, when the veterans come back, the airport hallways oftentimes are lined with family and friends, and they're clapping, and they're giving them the welcome home that some of these vets, Gordy, didn't have when they came back from service.
Exactly. I was treated as a guest a couple of years ago because we've raised enough money where we sent quite a few people on this excursion, and I got to ride along with it, and to come back and see the thousands of people waiting there at Dane County to welcome these people, I was just overwhelmed. And as they were, a lot of the guys were in tears because of the appreciation that they were receiving, somewhat delayed in many cases.
And correct me if I'm wrong, does each veteran get to choose a chaperone or a guest that goes with them? Sometimes it's a kid or a grandkid or somebody like that goes with them on this. And what an amazing experience for them to learn firsthand from their grandparent or from their parent, and maybe find out things that mom or dad were never able to discuss before with them.
Yeah, a lot of it's children. A couple of when the people on the plane I was with, there was grandchildren. But yeah, definitely a lot of the soldiers never told the stories of what they experienced.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I never served, but when I worked for a member of Congress, had the honor of doing military and veterans affairs, and you get just a little bit of a taste of what these families go through, what the service. Of course, this weekend we remember those who gave all and gave their lives for this country. And I just want to say thanks to you and to Kopke's Greenhouse, because this is a great example of what civic media talks about all the time: community. And nobody's making you do this. You don't have to do it, but here you're taking, you've been gifted a lot, and now you're paying it forward every year with this great event coming up on Sunday here at 3 o'clock, the auction, right?
Yes.
But it goes all day. The event goes all day.
The event goes all day. Brats start being served at 10. We have live music comes on from 11 to 3.
All right. We'll come on back. We'll talk a little bit more about greenhouses and the honor flight. We're at Kopke's Greenhouse on location, the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Very good.
All right, we got 2 minutes. We'll come back. We'll get 6
Civic
minutes.
Media.
Okay. All right, cool.
Log on
Amazing. You're natural.
civicmedia.us/advertise.
Just
love it.
Sugar River Pizza.
Zommers, can you hear Gordy okay? And I turned him up a little bit.
Yeah,
I know. I love the pizza.
Pizza is ridiculous.
Zommers, are you there?
Right, and they have
48 beers on tap and a great selection of wines.
And the atmosphere.
Not only is the restaurant gorgeous,
That room with the
giant windows that open, and they won a Best of Madison Gold Award this year.
I love Sugar River
Pizza on Cabela Drive in Sun Prairie.
You took the words right out of my
mouth.
Yep. SugarRiverPizza.com.
Oh, so you have heard of it.
Time out.
All right.
Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
Aaron, can you hear me?
Interscholastic Sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique.
Must have his
And
headset turned
in the
down.
pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
Last week, I asked if me swallowing like 100 mayflies on a walk breaks a fast, because I was doing intermittent fasting. 0.008
Anything in particular you want to make sure we hit
per fly.
in terms of either the event or the greenhouse?
It's not zero.
It's not 0 calories.
So
Not
you did.
necessarily.
Well, that really
but
sucks. I mean, don't get me wrong, they tasted good.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
Make sure they stop
Weeknights
out
from
if
6
they're
till
in
8
the area.
on your local Civic
Oh,
Media
they can
radio
call in
station
with a
and on the
donation.
Civic
Oh,
Media
cool.
app.
Awesome.
And I've even had some people call in with bids on because they couldn't be here. They come out and get a number of a container because they all have.
I love it.
The
Yeah.
ones that we have for sale are going to have numbers. I don't. They're
to reach them.
where
Right
they're
inside,
in the
yeah.
right position.
and they can
to greater things.
bid over the phone. So to
That's
speak.
awesome. And that's the number's probably on your Facebook page or
They can just call into the
regular number.
The regular number, and they'll get somebody that'll see on the phone with them.
Do you know what that is?
608 835
This current tax code that they're trying to
75
extend, 80+% of the benefit goes to the top 1% of
835
earners.
75
This is not a
right.
game. Trump will tell you
All right,
firsthand
cool.
that he grew up believing there
What
are
were you
winners
saying?
and there
Sorry
are
about that.
losers. This is
I
not
was I turned Gordy's mic up a little bit. Can you hear him okay now?
Can you talk a little bit, please?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
okay.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that should be better.
Great.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks.
And you said there was a phone number you want to share with people? I can
Yep.
add that on the
It's,
screen.
608 835 7569. 608 835 7569.
And is that for more information on the event or?
They could actually bid, Gordy said, on
Oh,
these
cool.
on these pots.
Or make a donation.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Or make a
Here we
donation.
go. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Pursuing fruit wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We are live on location at Kopke's Greenhouse in the town of Dunn, just outside the city of Oregon, which is just south of Madison. And today is the having fun part of it, absolutely. As if you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, streaming, beautiful. We're inside, even though it's a little dreary outside, a few sprinkles, overcast skies. It is warm and beautiful inside the greenhouse here at Kopke's, where you can come in and shop to your heart's content and never really get wet because it's nice and dry inside here. Glad to have you along here from Kopke's. We are being joined right now by the founder and owner of Kopke's, Gordy Kopke. Gordy, thank you again for doing this. Thanks for being a sponsor of Civic Media. A couple of things I want to highlight again. The sign is right up above us here, just outside the camera view. It says the 2023, I think 2024 Best Greenhouse and Customer Service Award, People's Choice Awards. That to me is such a big thing because people can go to a lot of different places to buy plants these days, but it's a rarity when you could go and have friendly and quick customer service, but knowledgeable customer service, and that's something people get when they come to Kopke's in the town of Dunn.
Exactly. That's the key to my success is hiring people who will make me look good.
But you're one of those people, I mean, whether you talk to you here or when you're up at the farmer's market, you're always going to smile. You're friendly. You're great just to chat with. And people want to do business with people like that, I think.
Well, yeah, I think so. I guess I'm the same way. In what I miss in today's culture is going to a store and looking for somebody because I have a question, and I walk around for 5 minutes and can't find anybody, and it gets me frustrated and looks I want to shop somewhere else.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I shop, I try when I have something for hardware. Let's say there's a small Ace Hardware in Madison, and you go in there, and the people know exactly where things are at. They can tell you what it's about, and it's the same way when they come to Kopke's here in terms of plants and all your care needs that way.
Yes.
It's really great. Want to mention again, you have this great event coming up this Sunday, May 25th, all day long, but there's an auction at 3 o'clock in the afternoon here at the greenhouse. How many baskets or planters do you have?
I believe we've got 45, and then we generally will, sometimes we'll do a duplicate of a particular design, and the auctioneer will give the choice for the backup bidder if they want to buy the second container of that design.
Well, that's great. And the proceeds for all of these planters that are going to be auctioned off at 3 o'clock, as well as the concessions from the brat stand, that's all going to go towards the Badger Honor Flight. Money's raised going to Badger Honor Flight for our veterans to go visit Washington, D.C. and have them honored. We want people to come out on Sunday, Gordy, rain or shine. But if you can't, if you're with this show goes all over Wisconsin, there might be people at Hayward's like, hey, I can't make it down to the Kopke's. They can still donate and they can still bid.
They certainly can. They can call us on the phone and we'll bid for a container. Or if they just want to make a donation, they can do a credit card donation over the phone that goes directly to the honor flight.
Wow, that's fantastic. And Ozama is going to put it up there on the screen. We'll give it to you in the show notes as well. The number to call on Sunday if you want to donate to the Badger Honor Flight or bid on one of these fantastic planters is 608-835-7569. That's 608-835-7569. That's also the greenhouse number here. But it's a great way for people to get involved and still donate and still help out, even if they can't come down.
Exactly. And we have had customers call in and bid and buy containers, as well as just making a donation to the general cause. And we're also here Saturday and Monday doing the brat stand.
Really?
So, yeah, it's a 3-day event. And again, all proceeds go directly to the honor flight. We have Quick Trip has donated 300 brats this year.
Wow.
Brats and buns. And we provide all beef hot dogs, and we have some plant-based burgers that we offer for the people who are into those. Yeah. And so we try to cater to all folks.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, it doesn't matter, like I said before, whether you're a novice person with plants or whether you're a seasoned pro, stop down to Kopke's Greenhouse here in the town of Dunn, just south of Madison, because you're going to find great folks that are going to help you out. And healthy plants, by the way. Everything I bought here last year, the perennials for Mom, came back except the black-eyed Susan because the deer ate it.
There's no guarantee on deer or rabbits.
No guarantee on deer or rabbits. That's fine. No. We'll replace that and we'll try to keep the deer away. But they're healthy plants, and it makes you feel good in a world that can be kind of nuts right now. We all need a little zen, Gordy.
Yes. We not only sell plants, we sell soul food.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. And there's a lot of great ornaments to put in the garden, some glass bulbs, lots of cool artwork here, lots of red, white, and blue stuff right now for this weekend. So it's not just plants, and whether you want to kind of decorate the entire garden, there's things for you.
Yeah, I have a great person who's in charge of the accoutrements that we sell. She does a great job of bringing out some unique items, and right now we have the seasonal thing with the red, white, and blue theme.
And you also have everything, not just the plants, but you have awesome pots of every size and style, design, potting soil, fertilizer, everything that you need for the garden. You're going to find it here at Kopke.
We try to have it all.
Well, including great service and always with a smile. And again, this is coming up this Sunday, the big auction at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, all proceeds from these planters and from the brat stand all weekend long go to the Badger Honor Flight. Anything I missed, Gordy?
I think that pretty much covers it. I think you did a great job. I appreciate you coming out.
Well, we appreciate you as a partner, a sponsor to Civic Media. A lot of people are supportive, and few people put their money where their mouth is, and we really appreciate that, Gordy, because what we do can't be done on our own. It takes great sponsors like you who invest in the community, and I just want to say thanks on behalf of Civic Media.
You're quite welcome.
We appreciate it. Gordy Kopke, everybody. We'll be here. Maybe you'll find somebody to answer some plant questions in hour number 2 as well. And coming up, we have What's Worse. So don't go anywhere. We are live on location at Kopke's Greenhouse. It's the Allbaugh Show across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network. I got to look.
This is 92.7 WMDX Columbus, Madison's home for real news and great conversation. A civic media station.
Okay, so I got it.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. For the second time this week, President Trump is meeting with Republicans trying to shore up support for the GOP budget reconciliation bill. He's meeting this afternoon with holdouts of the Freedom Caucus at the
Summers,
White
you there?
House. House Speaker Mike Johnson, meantime,
What's the
downplaying
what's worse for today? Sorry.
The what's worse?
Oh, spam or junk mail. No,
Nope.
it was yesterday. Yeah. What is it,
is
Jay?
flat soda or warm beer.
Flat soda or warm beer. Flat soda or warm beer. I don't like either one.
Luke shared his thoughts, which I will share once we
Okay.
ask the question.
All right, very good.
That plane still needs to be retrofitted. Louisiana authorities say they've arrested 2 people for
It really is. Warm beer is, unless it's Guinness, that's hard for me to get down. I almost like I could choke down a cold flat soda more than I could a warm beer. Yeah, if I had to. We'll see. Well, awesome. Thank you. If there is somebody that can stop by at 3:30. Oh, if not, they don't want to do it. Oh.
They're sort of,
That's fine.
I'll come back and do it.
Oh yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Yeah. All right. 3:30. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. We'll see you then.
I will be right back. I got to use the bathroom.
All right. Cool. Thanks.
Martin was taken to the hospital, then flown to UW Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. She was the Wilgus Hall Assistant Resident Director and a psychology major from Beloit. Based on preliminary autopsy findings, officials say Martin died by gunshot wound. The other woman was identified as 22-year-old Hallie Helms, who died at the scene. The preliminary autopsy findings show she died of self-inflicted gunshot wound. Helms was a Wilgus Hall resident and an elementary education major from Baraboo. No one else is suspected to have been involved. Finals are canceled for the rest of the week at UW-Platteville, and counseling is available to students in person and 24/7 by phone. University staff wants students to know mental health resources are available even if they go home for the summer. And over the last couple of years, Wisconsin has seen record employment, signaling a strong labor market. For a while, every new month set a new record. Lisa Hale has the latest numbers.
The number of unemployed people in Wisconsin increased slightly in April, according to preliminary estimates from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development announced Wisconsin's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate increased slightly to 3.3% over the last month. That's still 0.9 percentage points below the national unemployment rate of 4.2%. Wisconsin's labor force decreased by 4,900 over the month. Over 3,066,000 people were employed in the state of Wisconsin in April.
That's Lisa Hale reporting. Wisconsin's workforce participation rate is almost 3 percentage points higher than the national average. I'm Savannah Tomei-Olson. This is 92.7 WMDX News.
Another win for Logan Henderson. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers beat the Baltimore Orioles 5-2 thanks to right-hander Logan
All right,
Henderson.
I am back.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
That's Henderson's third
Quick
win
note for the viewers. Earlier on Monday, somebody commented, I had the screen like this where I was switching stuff around, and so I was more visible. And someone on YouTube commented, saw every pimple. And I would like to take this moment to say, I don't have acne, so this is a good reminder to all of our viewers, do not skip your annual eye exam. I have mine next week.
I didn't see that. That's ridiculous.
Bucks reporter Jim Ozarski says the team's owners are not interested in a rebuild right now.
I wanted to say something that day, but we had just had Senator Roy's on, and I was like, this is not the time.
Probably not. Probably not.
With the new hotel going up, with Deer District trying to get those restaurants rooted in, right? They can't have and don't want 3,000 people.
That's Bucks reporter Jim Ozarski. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
Damp and dreary today, with high temperatures still cool.
Guess I got a little eye exam right now.
Thankfully, the winds are much
Oh, really?
cooler
But no,
today,
thank you.
but scattered showers still continue. The rain will start to wind down overnight. Then the sunshine.
Oh, I hope they don't dilate my pupils again.
Yeah, that's never fun.
Wow, right now it's 49.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
Last week, I asked if me swallowing like 100 mayflies on a walk breaks a fast because I was doing intermittent fasting. 0.008 calories per fly.
You are breaking a fast, though. Because
Probably.
It's not zero.
It's not 0 calories.
So you did.
Well, that really sucks. I mean, don't get me wrong, they tasted good.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Weeknights from 6 till 8 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app.
Imagine home.
It's always fun
Smell of
editing
coffee,
promos for Pete's
sound
show.
of a
It's
lawnmower,
so funny.
The sun's warmth on your face. Free to be yourself. Surrounded by love that helps you grow. This is a place to call home. That's an American dream we all
Shizu
deserve.
says, I keep getting the don't come
But
back
in
for 4 years
50%
comment
of
from my
US
eye
states,
doctor.
you
Yay,
could
carrots.
legally be
God, I
denied
wish.
housing if you are
No, everyone in my
LGBTQ+.
family has awful vision.
Get the facts
Really?
and hear
Anyway,
real
about
stories
20
at
seconds.
lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels.
Live on location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Todd Allbaugh, along with Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer. It is Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. It is a great day to be Wisconsinite, and it is
Hump Day.
There you go. It is Hump Day. We're on location. As Terry Barr said, always appreciate her great introductions. We are live here on location at Kopke's Greenhouse in the town of Dunn, just outside the city of Oregon, which is just south of the city of Madison here in Dane County. Glad to have you along. Thanks for being with us. It's a little drizzly, Mr. Zommers, here in the town of Dunn, although most of the rain has stopped. It's kind of overcast, a little damp. But inside, here in the greenhouse, I hope everybody's watching on the stream today on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We have some lovely plants here behind us. The greenhouse is full, it's warm, it's fantastic, and it's dry. So if you're in the area listening on WMDX in Madison, or if you want to take a drive, come on out to Kopke's today. You're going to find some, not just great plants, you're going to find some great service as well, and just an overall great time. We thank Gordy Kopke for being here on the show in the first hour. Sounds like he might come back, and we'll answer some plant questions at the bottom of this hour. So I know a lot of people this time of year have questions in terms of, well, what to plant where, perennials versus annuals. If you have a plant question, get ready, save it up, and we'll invite your calls at the end, or pardon me, at the bottom of this hour. So around 3:35, Gordy will be back. We'll be taking your calls for plant questions here on the show today. Looking forward to that. Providing a little extra service for you, plant service here on a Wednesday. The big thing we want to mention here at Kopke's, not only is it a great place to buy plants, get great service as well, but coming up this Sunday on Memorial Day weekend, there is a big auction, plant auction, and it's all to raise money for the Wisconsin Badger Honor Flight, and that is to help get our veterans from Wisconsin out to Washington, D.C., honor them both there, have them see the memorials, and then come back home and have a great welcome at the Dane County Regional Airport. I know I mentioned also that our friend and colleague Jane Matnair of Matnair on Air every morning from 9 until 11, she and Greg have talked about this on their show as well. There's another division, I believe, believe, that goes out of General Mitchell Field in Milwaukee, and they've talked about this on their show. So these are just great organizations that, because I think too often we overlook those who have sacrificed for us. Of course, this weekend is set aside for people who made the ultimate sacrifice and died in the line of service, but it's never a bad time to remember all those who have served. So the cool thing is, if you, the home listener or viewer, would like to donate to the Badger Honor Flight, you can do so without even being here. Of course, we'd love to have you come out this weekend to Kopke's in the town of Dunn, but if you can't, write down this number. Zommers has it on the screen as well. The number to call if you'd like to donate to Badger Honor Flight, or this weekend on Sunday to bid on one of the fantastic, and let me tell you, they are fantastic baskets here, or planters, or bigger than a basket, a planter. The number to call is 608-835-7569. 608-835-7569. That is the number to call to bid this weekend or to donate to the Badger Honor Flight. It's just been a lot of fun, Zommers, to be out here. It's a great vibe inside Kopke's.
Yeah, I can imagine. Earlier before the show, Luke Mathers was talking to me, and he's like, it's pretty nasty outside, pretty windy and wet. What's Todd going to do? And I said to him, it's called Kopke's greenhouse. There's a greenhouse. So it's going to be in there. But yeah, no, it looks beautiful.
It really is. And I think, because I've experienced this now, and I know Luke, he comes out here, he and his lovely wife, they're customers of Kopke's, and it's one of those places where even if you just buy a couple of things or just one little plant, just walk through the entire thing, because it's a candy for the eyes of all the colors and greenery, and it'll make you feel better, particularly on kind of a cool day like this. The greenhouses inside are pretty warm, so warm up a little bit.
In addition to all the outdoor stuff, they also sell indoor plants, correct?
Yes, they sell some indoor plants. They sell, here, look, I'm going to reach over here. Look at this. This is a luminary. I feel like I'm on QVC now. It's called Lumiz, Lumiz, and they're a battery operated and the remote. And so it's like a Chinese lantern you can hang up in your gardens, indoors or out, and then you use the remote control and turn it on and off. How about that?
That's neat.
So, I mean, they have really cool things like that, not just plants. They have other cool things for your garden indoors and out as well. So we'll talk to Gordy a little bit later on in this half hour, or at the bottom of the hour, rather, and get your plant questions answered. So hold off on the plant questions until Gordy rejoins us. But right now, it's 11 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Time once again for What's Worse. Let's go.
This or that, this or that. Then, of course, the choice is yours. You can get with this, or you
Time once again for What's Worse. No prize money to give away, nothing in terms of giveaways involved, but it is your chance to have your voice heard all across all 11 stations of the Civic Media Radio Network. Always glad to have you along. No better place to advertise like Kopke's. They are a paying sponsor of Civic Media, and we appreciate their support and sponsorship so much. Join Kopke's here at Civic Media. Go to civicmedia.us and find out how to be a sponsor here. All right, Zommers, timely indeed. Now, I can tell you this weekend for the big Memorial Day fundraiser here at Kopke's Greenhouse, there will be nothing but great food and great soda. But sometimes when you go to certain events, that is not always the case this time of year. You go to picnics, and people put out less than attractive drinks. So here we go.
Or if it's, a family event and you've got your 2-liter of soda that you opened last week.
That too. All right, here's the category today for What's Worse. What's worse, flat soda or warm beer? Flat soda or warm beer? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Give us a ring-a-ling. Tell us what's worse, flat soda or warm beer. And Zommers, you'll have to put up the, when we have somebody on the line, up in the chat here on the old StreamYard so I can see it on the screen if it'd be so very kind. But give us a call, 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842, or you can text us on the Civic Media app. If you don't have it, you can download it today on your Apple or Android device. Simply go to the Civic to your search engine, your search bar on your app store. Type in Civic, CIVIC Media. It'll pop up a little CM logo. You click on that. It takes less than a minute. It's free. It's what CBS's Gail King calls a deal. The Civic Media app. You're going to want to have it anyway, because coming up on Friday, another free ticket Friday giveaway. 4 Milwaukee Brewer tickets will be up for grabs, not just on our show, but on several across Civic Media. You will give you a keyword. You must use the app to text in that word on Friday, and you'll be eligible to win 4 club-level seats for a game to be named later on Friday. We'll tell you about that. But right now, what's worse, flat soda or warm beer? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. All right, Dave in New Berlin checking in on the app saying warm beer is worse. A side thought, flat 7-Up is good if it's cold. All right, well, there you go. Dave in with the flat 7-Up that's cold. Brian in Milwaukee listening on WAUK says flat soda is worse. When you're drunk, you don't care if the beer is warm. Well, that's very creative, Brian in Milwaukee. I hadn't thought of that.
That is a good point. But if it's your first, that might be kind of nasty.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be a little nasty. What's worse, flat soda or warm beer? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842, or you can text us on the Civic Media app. Always glad to have you along here. We're here live at Kopke's Greenhouse. Going to take your garden questions at the bottom of the hour as well. Gordy Kopke will be along, and we'll answer as many of those as we can for you at the bottom of the hour. But right now, time for what's worse. Let's go to the phone lines. 855-752-4842. Steve calling in from Milwaukee on WAUK. Steve, flat soda or warm beer? What's worse?
What's worse is warm beer. I don't mind flat soda. Warm beer is terrible.
All right, very good. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much, Steve. I think I'm pretty much with Steve. Gordy and I were talking about this over the commercial break here, because I think that, I don't know. Whoever it was, Brian or whoever it was that said that if the flat soda is cold, like over ice, you can kind of choke that down. But boy, I don't know. Warm beer, I can't. Yeah, unless you're already kind of toasted, you're not going to notice so much. But I don't know. I'm not sure I could do the warm beer. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842.
Luke Mathers before the show shared his thoughts on this, and he said these are not the exact words, but he said, you can cool down a warm beer. You can't recarbonate a flat soda.
Well, that's true. I mean, I guess that was he talking about like a tap in the glass or a beer or a bottle?
I'm not sure.
Because, I mean, then if it's already been warmed up and you try to cool it down, then you get skunky beer. And skunky beer, that's no fun at all. I've had a couple of skunky beers before. You don't want that. But I don't know. Maybe if you really get it cold enough on the second try. But all right, Luke has a good point though. You absolutely cannot recarbonate a soda. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. What's worse, flat soda or cold beer? You can also text us on the Civic Media app. Zommers, you want to go?
I don't know. This is a difficult one because,
really?
As you've said, they both suck. I would rather have water. I like water anyway, personally. Not everybody does, but I do. I think I'm gonna have to say that warm beer is worse. Again, you can cool it down, but most soda is still at least decent if it's flat. Like it is just sugar water, but sometimes that's okay.
Right. Yeah, I hear you on that. I would probably agree with you. I think that cold flat soda is easier to choke down than a warm beer. But I mean, Luke is creative. Mathers is creative that you could possibly, if it's in a bottle or a can, re-cool it down. But then I think it gets skunky, and you don't want skunky beer.
I feel like one heat and cool, especially if you're not like putting it in a furnace and then in a freezer. If it's a little warm and then you cool it back down, it's not going to ruin a beer.
Steve in Milwaukee listening to WAUK texts in on the Civic Media app and says, warm beer tastes terrible, unquote. I'd go along with that. I'd absolutely go along with that. All right, we'll continue to take a couple more calls. What's worse, flat soda or warm beer? 855-752-4842. But when we come back, after years of restoration, Old World, Wisconsin is opening a 1930s tavern. How about that? We'll have details. Don't go anywhere. It's the Allbaugh Show, live on location at Kopke's Greenhouse, just outside of the city of Oregon, on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Madison's real news and great conversation. 92.7 WMDX.
Unlock the magic within. Come to the Comfy Cauldron, a sanctuary in DeForest for healing massage and spiritual connection to the living and the deceased. Your mind,
feel like it's
body,
getting
and
a little
spirit
dark
deserve
here.
this. Book your massage or
Or am I a
reading
little
today
late?
at thecomfycauldron.com.
Cool off this summer at Frosty's, West Madison small batch ice cream shop. Enjoy rich, handcrafted flavors and soak up the sun on the outdoor patio. And if you mention you heard this on the radio, get 5% off. Frosty's, 702 South Gammon Road.
Spring is here. Make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood with EB3 Landscaping. With 15 years of top quality service, they treat your property like their own. 608-209-2185 for expert care and a vibrant tomorrow.
You can support animals in need in our community when you shop at Dane County Humane Society's thrift stores. Thrift Store West on Watts Road and Thrift Store East on High Crossing Boulevard. Shop gently used and new clothing and accessories, home goods, toys, furniture, and a whole lot more. All proceeds from the Dane County Humane Society's thrift stores support the comfort and care of animals in need across the county. Visit giveshelter.org/thrift for more information.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard.
All right, we have one more What's Worse call. Betsy in Jefferson. I'll put it in the chat.
Very good, thank you.
Success with a man in uniform.
Do you get to drive the truck sometimes?
In about 30 seconds.
Thank you.
What? Hi.
Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show, live on location at Kopke's Greenhouse here in the town of Dunn, just outside the city of Oregon. Watching right now, a hummingbird has entered the greenhouse and is buzzing around. If we may get bombed here by a hummingbird at any moment. No, it's great. It's great to have you along here, Zommers. We are right now finishing up What's Worse. How are things back at the Old World headquarters on State Street?
They're good. It's also pretty dreary here, but we still
But
need the
inside
rain.
a greenhouse is fantastic.
Also, that song that I played on the way in is off of the album Plantasia by Mort Garson, a synthesizer pioneer of the 70s. This album he wrote specifically for plants to listen to.
Really? Really? That's a very
Bit of a
deep
kooky
cut.
guy.
That's a very deep cut. So he wrote music for plants to listen to.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
The on the album cover it says "Warm Earth music for plants and the people who love them."
All right. Well, very good. Very good. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right. Let's wrap up what's worse here. A couple more calls 855-752-4842. Let's go to the phone lines. We have Betsy in Jefferson. Betsy, thanks for listening. Flat soda or warm beer, what's worse?
I will drink warm beer anytime because it's beer. And if you order a Guinness in Great Britain and you ask for it cold, they're going to think that you are very strange, and they're going to serve it to you warm anytime. And it's delicious.
Now, see, you picked the one beer that, yes, I think that's the exception. I mean, Guinness is made to be served at least room temperature or whatever, but you wouldn't want, say, like a Miller High Life. You wouldn't want that warm, or a Spotted Cow, right?
Sure, why not? It's beer.
Really? Okay. All right.
It's beer.
All right, so you're definitely saying flat soda's worse.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Okay. I love it. Thank you so much for your listenership, Betsy. Have a great day. Betsy in Jefferson. All right. Thank you very much. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. All right. Anything else, Summers, on the text line before we wrap that up here?
I mean, I'll say personally, I have not had a non-cold Guinness. I'll have to try that. But no,
I have.
that is
I
all.
have. Not bad. I've also had a Guinness float. Put like a dollop of ice cream in a Guinness.
That sounds pretty good.
It's a real deal. Yeah, it's not bad at all. All right, 25 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock after the bottom of the hour news update. Going to have Gordy Kopke back talking about your plant questions. So get ready to dial in or text in on plant questions. But first, this is a great story from a couple of days back here. Milwaukee Journal Sentinel and Callie Gleason wrote this. After years of restoration work, Old World, Wisconsin is opened in 1930s tavern, and it has been open now. It says the wait is almost over. Well, now it is. After years of work, an authentic 1930s tavern is finally opening at Old World, Wisconsin. Wittenbell's Tavern, founded in 1906, was moved to the historical site in Eagle about 4 years ago and has since been restored to its post-prohibition look. It'll be accompanied by an outdoor beer garden. The new additions are part of a years-long effort from Old World, Wisconsin, owned and operated by the Wisconsin Historical Society, to create a full, immersive experience in honor of Wisconsin's brewing history. As a part of the mission, the 600-acre historical center also opened a brew house in June of 2022. They had some festivities on the 17th and 18th last weekend to kind of christen this, and I understand it was a really, really great event. If you've never been to Old World, Wisconsin before in Eagle, really encourage you to get down there and experience it. It's a great place to take the family. It's one of those places where you can learn a lot of history at Old World, Wisconsin, but also have a lot of fun. And now it's not just for kids anymore. You can take the whole family down there to Old World, Wisconsin, and enjoy an adult beverage as well. So, ever been there, Zommers, to Old World, Wisconsin?
I have not. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it really is a cool place. Went down there back in my days working for State Senator Dale Schultz, who was on the State Historical Committee and part of the State Historical Society for a long time. Also, a hitherto unknown fact. Again, they're very modest people. They don't talk about this very much. But one of the main, I shouldn't say main, but a very generous contributor to the State Historical Society are the founders of Culver's. Craig and Lee Culver have long been huge supporters of the Wisconsin Historical Society, Old World, Wisconsin, and everything that they do. So, like, if you didn't need enough of a reason to go to Culver's, there's another one, because they have been very generous and philanthropic in giving to the Wisconsin State Historical Society, particularly if you go at the UW-Madison campus, and that's where the State Historical Society headquarters are located. Really, they help redo that beautiful, beautiful library and study area in the State Historical Society. So just another opportunity to mention and to remind people there is a lot of good going on in this state. There are a lot of cool places to take the family. I know that this weekend is kind of the unofficial kickoff of summer. Lots of focus gets put on water parks in the Dells, and that's great. Nothing wrong with that. But take time to go to places like Old World, Wisconsin. Some of our state parks as well is another great place to spend the summer and get out and enjoy the activities. So just a little bit of a reminder to get out there and enjoy things on this Memorial Day weekend. Are you traveling, Zommers, for the weekend?
I am. I'm going to be going back to Manitowoc to spend some time with my family, visit some friends, all that good stuff.
All right, very good. Well, we're on the road here. We're going to pack up and head up to the old RC and then up in Eau Claire. So tomorrow we'll be joining you from Eau Claire, talking about conservation, I believe, tomorrow on the show, amongst other things. And then on Friday, we'll be somewhere near and or around or on Lake Wissota with our very own Pat Kreitlow. So it should be a lot of fun. Come on back. If you have garden questions, call in now. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842 with your garden questions. Gordy Kopke will be with us on the other side. We're live from Kopke's Greenhouse across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network.
92.7 WMDX.
Just squeezed in the last half second there.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
Welcome to the Midwest Farm Report. I'm Stephanie Hoff along with you on a Wednesday. The Environmental Protection Agency recently launched its insecticide strategy. This is part of its plan to follow the rules around the Endangered Species Act. The herbicide strategy was the first regulation in this pesticide series launched last year. What do these strategies mean for farmers today? CropLife America CEO Alex Dunn says it underscores the need to read labels on your crop protection products.
Old World, Wisconsin has a historical beer brewing workshop in July.
On the label, and you know what we say, the label is the law. And brand new active ingredients are going to have terms on there about endangered species, and it'll say things like the farmer should check a database before they apply to make sure that they understand whether there's any endangered species around in the area. It might require them to apply under certain weather conditions and some other different ways to minimize any impact on that endangered species.
CropLifeAmerica.org/ESA has resources to navigate these new strategies. Stick around for closing markets coming next.
With Clarifly Larvicide, you get more than just a fly control product. You get more support, more expertise, and more control to prevent the emergence of nuisance flies from the manure of treated cattle by as much as 96%. It is perfectly blended in your mineral supplement to become a part of what you are already doing, feeding your cattle. Get control of flies with a comprehensive program built around Clarifly Larvicide and Starbar products. To learn more about Clarifly Larvicide, contact your local feed dealer or visit centralflycontrol.com.
One of your biggest investments, season after season, is high-quality feed. But are you getting the most from it? If you aren't using a silage inoculant to preserve
that's
the quality
amazing.
and nutritional value of your high-quality silage, the answer is no. When you pair your high-quality silage with science-based, research-proven Silosolve brand products from Novonesis, not only are you supporting improved herd health and performance, but you know you're getting the maximum return on your feed investment. Talk to your local dealer about what sets Silosolve inoculants apart. Purchase your silage inoculant today.
On the close Wednesday from Chicago, cash corn up 6.5 cents at $4.61 a bushel. December new crop corn up 7 cents at $4.55.5. Cash soybeans closed 9 3/4 cents higher at $10.62 3/4. November new crop beans up 11 1/4 at $10.52 1/4. And July new crop wheat closed 3 1/4 cents higher at $5.49 1/4. Class 3 milk contracts are seeing a rally. The June contract up 66 cents at
WMDX in
1961
Madison.
a hundredweight. The July contract up 57 cents at $19.60. For the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Stephanie Hoff.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook.
Oh, really? That's great. I'm Todd. Nice to meet you.
Dreary today with high temperatures
Aw, that's
still
awesome.
cool, only scraping about 50. Thankfully, the winds are much calmer today, but scattered showers still continue.
That's awesome.
Rain will start
That's
to wind
nice
down
to meet you.
overnight. Then the
Thanks.
sunshine returns tomorrow, and so does 60-degree temps. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot. Currently, it's 48.
Carmelo Anthony for the Bail
All
Project.
right.
Bad news, you've been arrested. Good news,
Here's
you're innocent
Llama
until
in
proven
Madison.
guilty. If you can pay your bail,
Cut out.
good news,
Llama in
you go home to
Madison.
wait your
Do they
trial.
have pepper
If
plants?
you can't, sorry,
Do you have
you
pepper
go to
plants
jail to
here?
wait. But sure, you still presume
There you go,
innocent.
you're on.
But since you can't afford bail, you've lost your freedom.
Get talk
That's
again.
not right.
Oh, that's weird.
Do you have him muted?
I unmuted. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, try the other one, Gordy. Oh, maybe. Hang on. Stay there. Stay there. I probably gave you the wrong headset.
Okay.
Now,
Can you hear me? I
gave him the wrong
okay,
headset.
it's a little loud. If you want to turn it
I'll
down.
turn it down. Yeah.
Okay.
About 30 seconds.
What's that?
You want to jump on, Josh? Okay. Oh, come on now. We are live on location here at Kopke's Greenhouse in the town of Dunn, just outside the city of Oregon, which is just below the city of Madison. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. It is now 35 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Glad to have you along. And we are joined once again here at our desk. We're inside, by the way. It's a little gloomy outside, but as Gordy likes to say, when it's gloomy and rainy outside, that's when you come in and buy the plants, and you plant them when the sun shines. So we're in this beautiful greenhouse. Join us on StreamYard, YouTube, and Twitter to see the visuals all across Wisconsin, of course, on our radio stations. Joined by the proprietor, the owner here, Gordy Kopke. Gordy, once again, thanks for letting us do this.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so great to be here. And we're going to take your people's plant questions in a minute. You know, it's like the old Johnny Carson show, Stump the Band with Doc Severinsen. But
that's not hard to do.
The general plant questions, I know that people have questions about what time of year to plant things, what kind of varieties, that sort of thing. But if you have a question, give us a call, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Gordy will do his best to answer. If we don't have an answer, we'll get you one. Or you could text us on the Civic Media app. Download it today at your Apple or Android device on the Civic Media app. So text or call right now your garden questions, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. And Gordy, we already have one, Llama, listening on WMDX in Madison, asking, do you have pepper plants?
We have probably a dozen varieties of your sweet peppers, and then we have probably a dozen varieties of hot peppers, ranging anything from on the milder end, like the Ancho Poblano, all the way up to the Carolina Reaper, which
really
blow your brains out.
I was going to say that sounds very dangerous.
Yes.
I'm not a super spicy guy, but I do love fresh salsa this time of year. Well, I'll be a little bit later, but once you get the tomatoes going and the fresh onions and the cilantro and the peppers, and you kind of combine, nothing beats fresh salsa.
Yeah, and as far as tomatoes go, we grow, I think it's 30-some or 40 varieties of tomatoes. Yeah. And we have a standard production line, and we do an organic production line as well.
Incredible. So you literally have every ingredient you're going to need for salsa right here at Kopke's.
Certainly do.
All right. If you have other questions or comments or about your garden, give us a call, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842, or text us on the Civic Media app. Gordy, I think one of the big questions this time of year, a little cool this week, but at what point should people start planting things outside in terms of both flowers and vegetables?
Well, wonderful Wisconsin, boy. Last week when it was 80, or Mother's Day when it was 80-some degrees there, I thought it was a great time to get everything planted, and then Mother Nature came along with her magic wand and gave us this kind of weather. But typically they say mid-May. The last frost-free date is around May 9th for the Madison area. And a lot of things are soil temperature related. And some of your crops like peas and cold crops like broccoli and cauliflower, you plant much earlier. They're frost hardy and they can grow in very cool soil environments. Whereas things like your tomatoes and peppers, they like a soil temperature where it's 55 degrees or warmer. And typically you don't get that kind of soil temperature until your nighttime temperatures are 55 degrees, which is leaning toward the 20th of May or later.
So maybe after this weekend or so.
Yeah.
You know,
When I was growing up, Memorial Day weekend was the weekend where you put your garden in.
Yeah.
And, everybody's jumping the gun and want to get an early start on everything. And it doesn't necessarily hurt the plants unless, of course, they get frosted. But they just don't grow if the roots aren't very active. And again, it's based on soil temperature.
If folks have jumped the gun, because this show does go all across the state, I was up at Shawano by Green Bay over the weekend, and my stepmom, actually, I took one of the potters. I came in last week and got one of the planters and took up to her for Mother's Day and Father's Day combined up there for Dad and my stepmom. And she covered it up on I think Sunday night because the temperatures, there was a chance of frost up there in Shawano. If people have jumped the gun, have something in the ground or have a pot out and in their part of the state it's going to get down, say, into the mid 30s or so, is it okay to, what do you just a old sheet, or what's the best thing to cover?
Typically, I would cover it. It's amazing. You get about 5-degree protection with just an old sheet.
Okay. About 5 degrees for a sheet.
Yeah.
All right. Otherwise, plastic or something like that. You got to be creative.
Plastic is less so because it transmits the temperature through the plastic much easier than the cotton fiber or nylon would. Yeah.
Now, this is why you go to Kopke's, because I would have thought, like you have a plastic bag that heats up or whatever, but you're telling me the sheet a little bit better with that.
Yeah, any fiber material in what we do, frost protection, because we get a lot of stuff that we put outside to harden it off. So it works better in the gardens for our customers, is we have a woven fabric material, which is what you see. And so it's called a weed barrier. You'll see it a lot in commercial gardens. And we'll use a tarp of this if it's going to be frosting that we'll put over the top of our plants to keep them from freezing.
If you have a question for Gordy Kopke on your garden, on plants, give us a call, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842, or you can text us on the Civic Media app. Another question we've gotten before, Gordy, is with climate change, with the warming of the earth, this sort of thing, have you seen a difference in, because of people, my grandparents were all gardeners and plant people, and you buy plants sometimes by a zone. You say, well, this grows in zone 4, zone 5. Have you seen over the course of the years with climate change, the plants that might not have grown in Wisconsin before are now able to do so?
Dramatic increase in the plants that are now will overwinter in Wisconsin versus when I was a boy.
Really?
Yeah, even when I first started, it's been 45 years ago when I first started, we were certainly zone 3 and in some winter zone 2, and now we're more in the zone 4 range.
Wow.
Which enables us to overwinter a lot more of what were borderline perennials back then.
Incredible. I know one of the plants that, one of the ornamental trees, the Japanese maple is a big favorite, and that used to be really hard to grow here. I mean, you sell them here now, and I mean, if you protect them, it's still a viable plant.
Yeah, and my wife is getting peaches off our peach tree, which was unheard of when I was a kid. My mom always had a peach tree, thinking she was going to get peaches, and I think in my lifetime she got peaches maybe once or twice, and I didn't even know it was a peach tree because we never got peaches off it until one year it was loaded with them because we had a mild winter.
Right. Wow, incredible. Our phone was down for a second, Sommer says, but it's back up now. I know Michelle in Milwaukee, we're trying to get through. Give us a call again, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Michelle in Milwaukee, sorry we missed you. Give us a call back here. We'll get you on the air with Gordy, or text us if you have a plant question for Gordy. We're here at Kopke's Greenhouse in the town of Dunn, just outside the city of Oregon. I know Gordy, you're up on the Farmers Market in Madison on Saturdays. I'm sure people kind of come up then just ask general questions. What's one or two of the most common questions people ask you this time of year?
Earlier is this, when do I plant my stuff outside? That's the most popular question I get usually at the end of April, early May. Everybody's curious about that. And, well, of course, when we first come to the market, are you open for the season yet? That's the other popular question I get.
And because you aren't open just for a couple of months, I mean, you're open most of the year, and you transition into the fall.
Well, we are seasonal in that we open the middle of April, and then typically we run out of product early July, and we'll close.
Really?
Yeah, we close down usually, depending upon if maybe July 10th or the 15th, somewhere in there, because we just run out of stuff. And then we will open up again in the fall with the mums.
Got it. Okay.
And we usually open the last week of August through the middle of October.
Yeah, because you have some beautiful mums out here. I mean, people just come out, bring your cameras and take pictures. Buy a mum, but I mean, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, even in the early spring when people have been putting up with a long Wisconsin winter, I advise people to come out, just walk through the buildings. You don't have to buy anything. It just comes out and it'll do something for you, your soul inside, that'll make you feel much better about life and forget about the politics and just bathe yourself in the color that we offer.
I really appreciate that offer, because I said that earlier on the show. I said, if you just want to be renewed, and I'm not being goofy about that, like it really does. I mean, there's a lot of things in the news and everything else that's stressing people out right now. We talked to Kira Sabin yesterday, our psychology life coach, about coping. And I think one of the things we can do to cope as humans is to be around plants and nature. And not everybody is the kind of wants to go out and hike or camp. But boy, come out here. It's cement you walk through, but all the greenery, all the color, the vibrancy, it really does do something, Gordy, for your soul.
No, Mother Nature is amazing, and she'll help you out if you let her into your heart.
Yeah, it has to be really special to work with these plants, work with these people, your employees every day. Just, there's such great folks out here.
Yeah, if they're not, we let them go work somewhere else.
I love that. I love that. See, Gordy Kopke has high standards. I absolutely love that. If you have a lawn or garden question, give us a call, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842, or you can text us on the Civic Media app. Gordy, I think a good time just to remind people one more time this hour about this weekend. You have a very special event. It's going to go all weekend long, but tell folks again what's happening on Sunday, May 25th, particularly at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, particularly at 3 o'clock, we have the live auction. You can come out and come on out early. We've got a nice gentleman that comes out and plays music in the gazebo from 11 until 3, and then the festivities begin after that. They'll auction off the planters, which all the proceeds go directly to the Badger Honor Flight.
Yeah, really, really great. And again, if you're not familiar with the Badger Honor Flight, it raises money to help send our veterans and one other person with them, usually a family member, out to Washington, D.C., see the monuments, and then, Gordy, and you said you've been a part of this, the really super cool thing is when they come back, the friends, the family, the community that show up with flags and signs and welcome these veterans home.
Yes, it's absolutely incredible. Having experienced it, it's something that if you get a chance to be there in the welcoming home crowd, it's amazing to see the looks on the faces of these guys who have served their time. And it's just overwhelming. It'll make you'll want to cry for happiness.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Very, very emotional indeed. If you can't make it out to Kopke's this weekend or for the auction on Sunday, you can still be a part of it. They're so very kind as to share their phone number here at the Garden Center. We'll have it up on the screen. If you'd like to either make a donation to the Badger Honor Flight, or if you'd like to bid on one of these fabulous, and I mean fabulous, fantastic pots and planters that are being auctioned off, you can call 608-835-5785. 7569. That's 608-835-7569. And you can make a donation to Badger Honor Flight or bid on one of these planters. Again, if you want to ask a plant question to Gordy Kopke, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842, or give us a text on the Civic Media app. Gordy, let's talk a minute about the actual facilities here. Well, actually, we're going to break. We'll do that on the other side because I want to talk a little bit about how you grow the planes out here before people actually see them. All right, come on back. We'll wrap things up at Kopke's Greenhouse. We're live on location. It's beautiful inside. That's what counts. It's the Civic Media Radio Network.
Wisconsin has a fish fry on a Friday night.
That's right. I was up against the clock. I didn't see that. So time goes fast.
Yeah, yeah, a relatively slow day. It's amazing. You come out here in the sunshine, and we'll have 100 cars in the lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, I was here that, what was it, Friday, Mother's Day weekend? Yeah. That was crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
Book your session now at CrashboxTherapy.com. 319 Beltway Highway, right next to Pitcher's Pub.
I think that's a great idea.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Make your appointment at
Yeah. Okay, all right. I think that's great. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
And your name? Kurt? Great.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. You want to hop on the air for a second? You want to hop on the air for a second? Just ask you about what brings you out here. Have you shopped here before? All right. Well, come over here. You keep that on, Gordon. That's fine.
You got another one?
I will just use this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Madison, get ready to sizzle.
Little man on the street thing. Little person on the street. All right. Let's see. Test.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate.
There we go. About a minute here. We'll come back.
Can you check the level on that real quick?
All right, hang on. Test. 1, 2, test 1, 2, test 1, 2.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's quite a drive. Yeah.
300 feet from the police department. They don't want to enforce speeding on their street.
To improve our democracy. That means taking steps to address money in politics, cleaning up some issues with election administration, and creating a long-term plan for nonpartisan redistricting. In some cases, we can't make these kinds of changes in the middle of a campaign, so we need to be thinking about what we can do now. There's a lot both parties can agree on here, too. So let's make some moves this offseason, Wisconsin. Seize this moment to make a better, stronger, more inclusive democracy.
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area and on our website at civicmedia.us.
Picking everything that has to go into the mound.
Wow.
Everybody wants the same thing from their mattress.
But fun,
Good night's
exciting.
Rest, am I right? You need someone to listen to what you want and who knows the materials that
Okay.
will get you there. At Verlo, we're your friendly neighborhood mattress genius. American made, locally crafted. Welcome to Verlo.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
Richard Trent, the executive director of Main Street Alliance.
This current tax code that they're trying to extend, 80+% of the benefit goes to the top 1% of earners.
Yes.
I did not
About
misspeak
30
there.
seconds.
This is not
All
a
right, thank
game.
you.
Trump will tell you.
This is a unique experience for me as well.
He's a natural. He's good at it.
Planning this.
That's good. I appreciate it. It's fun.
I take my dog with me everywhere because she's a chick magnet.
Welcome back to the Town Allbaugh Show, live on location at Kopke's Greenhouse in the town of Dunn, just outside the city of Oregon, which is just south of Madison, where it is now 8 minutes before the hour of 4 o'clock. At the top of the hour, ABC or CBS News, depending upon which of our great stations you're listening to all across the state of Wisconsin. A weather update. I can tell you what it is. Dreary in Madison right now. A little overcast skies, a little rain. Our great sports reporter, Mike Clemens, comes in and updates us on what the Brewers did a little bit earlier earlier today, and then the Maggie Dawn Show every afternoon from 4 until 6, and Pete Schwaba with Nightlight from 6 until 8. We are wrapping things up here at our on-location show live at Kopke's Greenhouse. Gordy Kopke, the proprietor and owner and great guy, is with us here. And Gordy, one of your great customers, has joined us here, and a listener of WMDX and Civic Media. Kurt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well and wet.
So you were listening and you heard us and you came out.
I actually have neighbors that work here.
Oh, really?
David and Becky.
Oh, yeah.
So this was a strategic run. I figured it was perfect. Raining, cool, Wednesday, time to go.
And you have a great dog, too. It was here earlier, and Kopke's is a dog-friendly place.
That's another big plus.
Have you shopped here before?
Oh, yeah, for years. I've been living in Madison for 30 years, so I've been come out here once a year.
Yeah.
She buys the flowers, I buy the ornamental grasses.
And that's the great thing when you come out here. There's something for everyone, whatever your lawn or garden needs are.
Yeah, it's a fun place to come to. I like it, but I don't come on weekends.
A little busy, right, Gordy?
I try to avoid it myself. I go to the farmer's market to get away from the zoo.
Kurt, you said a little bit before you were sharing, you have a new landscaping project, and what are you working on?
Yeah, I live on Mineral Point Road near Queen of Peace, and traffic is really heavy. So I've done some landscaping this year. I have a landscape artist that created a large berm between my driveway and my neighbor's driveway, and then another kidney-shaped one on the other side, and then they'll be putting berms in on the terrace as well. And I'll be creating boxes that will be built that are about 4 foot tall. And I'm not excellent at math, but my calculations is it'll knock the noise down by about 50%.
Wow. So that's just another great example of what plants can do, not just great to look at, but can help with noise pollution and just, enhance the environment in a more urban environment as well.
And the fun part is our neighborhood, I'm sure other neighborhoods do this, there is a landscape competition. Well, 2 of my neighbors within our block are both landscapers professionally. One retired from Allbaugh Crowders. But anyway, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring anyway.
Well, absolutely. You got great plants now. You should be set to go.
That's right. I mean, the backyard, we put on a beautiful deck and a lot of stonework and another berm as a barrier to the other part of the property. So, yeah, there's a lot going on.
And before we let you go, you have a great idea for the show.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea for listeners to throw their ideas on what's worse.
A listener in hands, what's worse.
I'll throw you some ideas of what's worse, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that come up with some really fun what's worse.
I'm sure they will. I love it. We're going to incorporate this. So give us, today was flat soda or warm beer.
Oh, flat or warm beer, that isn't happening unless I'm in Europe. Then it's not a problem.
Appreciate it, Kurt. Anything else you want to add here at Kopke's before you take off?
No, other than I suggest you get out here. It's fun to see all the different plants and keep listening to Todd's show.
Well, we didn't even pay you, just a man on the street interview.
I'm sucking up as best I can.
I wish I had a T-shirt, so I don't have anything to give you. But really appreciate your listenership, Kurt.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Appreciate your business, Kurt.
There you go, Kurt. Everybody, just one of the great customers, and I think Gordy, as we bring him back in here, that just has to warm your heart when you got guys like Kurt, customers like Kurt, who have been shopping here for a while. And I never even thought about that aspect. For people who live in urban environments, you put these natural and ornamental grasses, cuts down noise pollution.
Absolutely.
Have you heard of that before? People like planting things specifically in urban areas for that reason?
As a matter of fact, I have. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's another cool thing when people come out here. You have the staff, again, to help people to pick out the right plants for their needs, whether it's just to look pretty or, in Kurt's case, to actually cut down on noise pollution.
And one of my friends who was not getting along very well with one of his neighbors asked what I would recommend for a visual abatement. And so he put in a line of clematis, and now he no longer has to deal with his neighbor on a visual basis.
That is fantastic. Either there is a solution for every person's garden needs out here at Kopke's in the town of Dunn. Gordy, again, I can't thank you enough for allowing us to come out here today, Thanks for being a friend of the network, a friend of the program. And again, really, really appreciate you. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Well, really, really appreciate. And again, let's remind folks quickly, coming up this weekend, all week, the brat stand is
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, starting at 10 a.m.
All right, and all the proceeds from the brat stand go to the honor flight, and then the big auction for the planters is 3 p.m. sharp here at Kopke's.
Exactly.
And boy, they are beautiful. But you can see not ones for the auction, but ones similar to that just behind us here on camera, and they are spectacular. And again, all this money goes to the Badger Honor Flight. And just as Gordy said, just come out and feel better. That's the main thing, right?
Absolutely.
You can find you on Facebook, I know. Google it up, as my old boss used to say. It's a short drive from Madison, and you will not regret. Plenty of parking. Great people on the weekends when it is busy. They usher you right to the exact parking spot, and you'll just feel better.
Very good.
All right. Thanks, Gordy Kopke. Really, really appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.
Great show today. Appreciate Gordy being here. Appreciate all the people calling in today, the first hour. Trygve Olsen, Pat Kreitlow as well. Many thanks to them. Of course, Zomer is back at the World Headquarters in Madison. We are on the road. We'll come to you tomorrow from beautiful Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So be with us then. Looking forward to that. Until then, Todd Allbaugh saying, whatever you believe in, whatever you're fighting for, do not give up. Maggie Dawn is next. Keep banging your drum. We'll see you tomorrow from Eau Claire. Bye-bye.
Banging on your drum. Keep banging on, and your day will come. Keep banging on your drum, and they will hear you.
All right. Adios, folks.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Great day.